Hello everyone, welcome to another video. This is the semi-finals for the rookie bracket, so it's Grenooli and Trisector. We're going to be playing on Nova Assault here. I'd just like to do a quick shout out to all the people on the GBG Discord that you find the invite link down to below in the description. And everyone that's been getting on Voobly lately, like yesterday it was looking quite, well, as popular as it's ever looked in the last few years anyway, but quite a few people playing on Voobly yesterday. It was looking good. And a special thanks to people who've been funding my coffee addiction and just sending a few pounds here and there through the PayPal link down below. I really appreciate that. Without further ado, we're going to get into the video here. And it's going to be a Trade Federation mirror between the two of them on this Nova Assault. So they won't be able to wall, but at least, you know, they're both TF, so that disadvantage is shared. And there's a little bit of a hunt and some nerfs here. Couple of flumps, I think. 2 flumps, 3 flumps, a couple of berries, a couple of nerfs, and a few EOPs here, which is nice. Actually, Grenooli going to favour that early carbon processor here. Definitely decent play. And sometimes it can be a pond with a few fish and stuff. Is this the cursed gangler? Oh god. Oh, it's a flump. Oh. What am I witnessing? It's also terrible. It's just started as well. He's got 2 more to do. Godspeed, Trisector. And Grenooli having less problems than Trisector with his lures here. Smashing. And yeah, as I've gone over a million times before, being Nova Assault, you've got this like big centre of the map with a lot of hills, elevation, and all this Nova that you can play around. You can maybe vie for control of that area and spam a lot of units that you wouldn't necessarily be able to spam in a normal game, just because you've got all this. It's quite a precious resource, really. Like some of the maps, you know, that you've only got like 1 Nova pile, or just 2, but here you're gonna have like 10, 12, ridiculous amounts. And as always, there's all the beasts and stuff. I'm pretty sure I've not seen any of the players like luring them. Maybe there's a rule or an agreement not to do it. It'd be quite annoying having like 13 tusk cats brought to your base. Trisector going to get a bit of this fish here. These guys have got to walk all the way back and forth to this flump. And I'm going to speed it up just a wee smidgen. 1.5 here. Just to get through that T1 early game. So I have a few games to do. Because this is a best of 5 being the semi-final, so everything up until that point was a best of 3. So you need to get 3 wins to win the series here. Really getting onto his farms here. He's going to ignore this like little bits of extra hunt here. Oh, well, he is actually eating here. Didn't notice that food processor. Munching down that EOP. These ones are annoying though, they don't seem to want to walk anywhere closer. Just want to stay on this hill. They are Cadus, so they're only 100. Not too much to worry about. It's got the extra nerfs, there's a little bit of food supplementation as well, and everything together should really help him get up to that 500 quite comfortably. Trisector having a much better time with that flump. Not found this nerf that's sort of well hidden on this pond, I guess. Just chilling there. It doesn't look like anyone's got any crazy walling. I think Grenooli's definitely got the best base here. Although they're TF, you know, you could do like a few walls. That'd be pretty comfy. You could make your buildings up here and then a bit of a wall. Be quite safe. You get like a decent amount of land. You get both your ores safe, which is nice. The Nova will be exposed though. But you could sort of wall onto the Nova and it'll be okay-ish. There's going to be a quick troop centre and a power core here for Trisector. But whether there's going to be early aggression with it, we'll see. Could just be sort of defensive play here. And almost in response, Grenooli dropping his own troop centre here. He's definitely got the food to tech up. He's just going to get basic training. That's a smart decision. You never want to forget that one. And he's going to be on his way to T2. Unfortunately, Trisector kind of mucking up his T1 a bit. Just so many workers on carbon here. But there's still a Philumpa set to eat. And a few of these EOPs would have been nice just to save him some carbon for a while. And it's really just about where he's prioritised his workers here that's holding him back. Because he's just got so many prioritize on carbon too early, and there's nothing too great to do with it. Other than now, he's making the farms, but it's going to take a while for the farmers to gather enough food and get him up to T2. Fortunately for him, Grenooli not got a power core yet, so it's going to be a little while before he would face some aggression. He's making these trooper recruits as well, which is spending a bit of his food and sort of holding him back at the moment. Maybe better to just focus on getting that tech time up to T2. Because if all else fails, at least you'll be able to build turrets, which are going to be a much better deterrence than just a few troopers that are lacking the research and such. I can see Grenooli missed a 1% here. It could have been in a much better spot, I think, for this rush if he grabbed that one. Oh, I don't like these forward farms here. Not very safe, particularly as TF. Trisector starting to get up there in the food, but it looks like he's stopped building workers. That's not a good look. A few troops out here for Grenooli, starting to assemble on the edge of his base. He'll maybe be looking to get a couple of them out, maybe get the trooper upgrade and then send them off. He's dropped 2 turrets, which, yeah, I don't think you should bother with if your opponent's not even T2 yet. You know, you could maybe save the ore a little bit. It was such an easy base here, you could have just like forgone the turrets and just walled. And Trisector, how's he getting on? He is on his way to T2. Almost there. Second troop center coming down. He's going to have enough troops to defend this, I think. I think by the time they get there, his will be troopers as well. We need to check if Grenooli's getting the range. Not as of yet. So these are just 3 range troopers at the moment. I'm not seeing the range getting queued. Which could technically be an advantage Trisector could be at here if he got the range. Not looking like the plan at all. So it's going to be the 3 ranged troopers versus the 3 ranged troopers. I somewhat like this turret, I suppose. Sort of at the front of the base. Help guarantee the Nova and the ores and stuff. I worry about like later on if some troops get round the side into his carbon and not having 2 turrets. What would be great as TF, I think, in a way that you could play is you could get on the ore earlier. And you could go up to like 3 turrets. So 2 at your carbon and then 1 like guaranteeing some farms or some ore or something like that. And sometimes it's not even about the damage that they do, it's just that you can garrison workers into them and stop them dying. So Trisector is going to be pushing up here. Grenooli's got in the range, but Trisector absolutely forgetting it so far, and he's just making troopers. And when they get even numbers, it's going to be really bad for him not having range. He's getting a very lucky outcome here. So he's going to win that. Oh, he was whipping out the flank formation, that's why. So the flank formation just got better AI for like running through line columns. Sorry, I think it just sort of murders the center of a opposing patrol group. He's going to clean up those remaining troopers just with some slaps from the workers. It's looking like a really, really healthy farming economy here for Grenooli. Maybe even a little bit too much. He might be like a couple of farms over than he would need. 23, god damn, he's maybe 3 to 5 farms more than he would need in T2. But he's absolutely going to be getting his way to T3 with all that food income. If you can see, he's up to 1,000 food there. He's living large. Whereas Trisector here, not too much. You know, he's got half. Well, he's actually got a third of the farms that his opponent's got at the moment. And he's only down on 144 food here. So just been a much, much stronger economic game here from Grenooli and his decision making, and it's really going to pay off here. And it's just sort of showcase to you just how much, you know, macro matters in this game, because he's going to be on his way to T3. There are going to be these troops coming at him, and he's going to have to do a bit of moving his workers around and stuff. But if he can just weather the storm, he can get these double mech factories just pumping out some strike mechs. But he'll definitely be losing a few workers here. Let's have a quick check. 37, 45. I don't think Grenooli really killed too much of Trisector's workers. I think it's just like there's been a few lapses in the command center here. I think he's just done a much better job with his eco overall, even building workers. So Trisector, just to even out this game, is going to have to kill like 8 workers. So even with this, he's not actually getting a lead really. He's just making things right. He's still done a few troops at home, but that tech level 3 proc there, just that chat up in the top left, is really going to cause a bit of anxiety for him. And maybe make him rethink what he's doing in T2 right now. You can see the spaceport immediately going to be getting dropped to try and balance the resources of his economy and get himself up to that 800-200 threshold of food and Nova. So he can click the button himself. And there's the strike mites coming out 2 at a time for Grenooli. And they're going to help clean up this base, and then he can put the pressure onto Trisector's base right here. He's being shot at. Oh, the Nova. He's got the range upgrade already for these strikes. Getting the next range upgrade. Range super important in this game, and you also get like +1 attack with it, which is beautiful as well. It's always the one you want to go for first, really. A few troopers at home, but they've only got the 1 turret. Trisector really needs to get himself. What's happening? Oh, he's making tons of grenadiers. Grenadiers is not bad, but you kind of need turrets with it. Because the turrets just give you a bit of a deterrence and somewhere to hide as well. You have this one. He needs to hope that Grenooli's a bit of a simpleton, really, here with his strike mech approach. Because if he just goes round, it's a bit of effort in, and to the side, he can just completely ignore this 1 turret. I don't know where's the gather points. It's like some brood war production right here. And these grenadiers are overextending. Really doesn't look like he's super comfy with the micro, but he's still going to manage that one. He did take 1 shot, but you can see now that he's got +2 range as well, this is just a devastating advantage here. Oh, takes a big hit there though, not paying attention. And another one. Now, yep, they're all going to die. As I said, it's really on you to get the damage in when you go for like a grenadier defense. You gotta be smart with them. You don't want to overextend. You gotta just... You're sort of stalling, really. You shouldn't really be outright hoping that you're just gonna get the kills. You should just be stalling, because it makes it so uncomfortable for your opponent to both macro and then micro these with the grenadiers, because if they do slip up, they will just lose all their strike mechs. I do like the turret, but you can just sit on top of it here and do a lot of damage to these workers. And I think Trisector's probably just snookered here. The Grenadier can maybe try and get some shots, clean it up, but I mean the range, they didn't even have to move really with their 8 range. And things looking decent at home for Grenooli here. Trisector maybe just in a bit of a panic, because look, we're up to like 1600 carbon here. We're not managing things properly. Could have at the very least sold a lot of this, bought some food and stuff. Got himself on the way to T3 at the very least. Because it's not doing him any good just sitting there, not being spent. So many workers dead now. Kinda just hoping we move on soon. I'm just gonna fast forward it until he GG's. So move on. Yeah, you're snookered here. No way out of this scene. It's all ogre now. You're shreked. I Hope this isn't in every game. Oh! Really getting lots of strike mech v Grenadier practice here. Oh, he's found the secret carbon. Right, GG. I'm moving on. He said GG. Let's get into the next one. Mother Load. El Nerf map. Look at them all. God damn. Better be some good scouting. Get those nerfs, man. So I think they're gonna have 16 by default, and then there'll be like pairs of 5 or 4 and like corners. So, to be honest, just 2 pairs of 6 just to kind of contradict me there. So it must be between about 4 and 6 the spawns. God, are those extra as well? God, it's all about this corner. It's so uneven the way that they bloody distribute themselves. Because this should be his base 8. Because you start with like 8 really close and then 2 groups of 4s, right? So that's Grenooli's 4 here, but he's found 6. But then there's 12 at the top here, and then there's only about 5 down here. None in the other corners. I think this corner's maybe too close, I suppose. Then again, this is a bit the same. I'm not really sure how the rules for this work. It just seems to really be ridiculous. Maybe it's like a flaw in how it decides to roll things. Like if it actually decides to roll, it can high roll, it can low roll, and then, you know, no roll, no roll. Often when we play Mother Load and maps like this, you can end up with like in team games you can end up with players who've just got tons, and Grenooli can hide these, oh dear. That's just not good for Trisector here. Oh! When it rains, it pours. Thank fuck he gets an extra game to play. Being a best of 5. I'm not too hopeful for this one though. Like all his nerfs hidden here and the extras up here. Did Grenooli go and find those 6 up there now as well? Oh, 3 nurseries to 1. I'm not even going to take this off 2 times speed. It's a foregone conclusion, really. That's too many nerfs. What's this worker up to? Oh no. They both try a wall and getting... Nature's turned against them here. She's turned the nature against us. Oh, and he goes down. The Rancor. Too strong. Fortunately, Trisector only had a... Oh, what is the nerd play out here, Grenooli here? Oh, that's grim. It's big brain, but that's grim. He's already got like triple his nerfs. Now he's lured the Rancor that wronged him onto his opponent to prevent his walling. With the damage of the Tuscat. Actually, this is a close call. Who's winning here? He did get basic training. He had 40 health when he arrived here. I think he might win. He's got him. I think he's got him. Just barely. Like 2 health maybe? 1 health. What a champion. Why is this a carbon processor? What? I have so many questions. Oh, it's got 200 more health than a prefab shelter. Maybe it's a big brain play. Yeah. The scout could have just killed this worker off. Grenooli's chosen piece here and finishing off his wall. Little does he know, six more nerfs to join his billion nerfs. If he could just find them. Poor Trisector is never scouted down in this corner. So To anyone that's not aware, like, do remember this when you get, like, particularly maps for these extra spawns, check the corners of the map. I think that's even still somewhat true on Ice Lake, but you do, a lot of them are centered in the center of the map in the big Ice Lake area. But they can be sort of in corners and stuff. And around the outskirts of the Ice Lake as well. So the spaceport, he's gone for the double troop center here, but they have a walled off this side, so if he wants to rush, he's going to have to go around. It's not really that popular a move to go and rush on Motherlode, just because, like, you know, like the direct approach to your opponent has just been, it's been stolen from you. You have to run round, and then you could technically just wall one side, and then you know what side you'll get rushed from as well. And you can sort of make your buildings defensively in that manner. But having 30 nerfs is just going to disregard any of this concept anyway. Rushing at such a deficit is just, it's grim. And I wouldn't be surprised if Trisector at this point is just completely tilted with everything that's going on. That's not even walled. Strike Mech's going to be making their way to his base. There's not going to be any turrets. He's got 2 troop centres. He could maybe funnel out a couple of grenadiers, but he's absolutely stuck in T2 with the way that his eco is. Way too much carbon, not enough food, no farms or anything like that. You know, 9 nerfs to like 30. And the only option for him here apparently is to bash these strike mechs down. Nah, the fighters as well, that's just, it's too much to deal with. But credit to playing this out for a bit, but even a lot of people would probably just give up seeing those extra nurseries. The only thing I could really suggest to you is just going hard like T2 Mounties and stealing them back. Give you a sort of a fighting chance, really. Make it a bit of a coin flip matchup. But try to go toe to toe in T3 or try to rush without Mounties as such as the value of this is just gonna outscale you. And that's another GG here. So 2-0 to Grenooli there. That last one felt a little bit unfair, but we'll see how this one goes. Going to be back onto the Nova Assault here. Maybe saying none of that mass nerf nonsense. This map's pretty ethical with the old nerfs. You can see a sort of 4 start here, so I'll be up to 6 and then 8 usually. God, if I can even find the extra 2. What's going on here? There they are. Not a bad rush distance between the 2 of them. Pretty open bases as well. This looks like quite an even spawn. And Confederacy. Really fun early Mountie Civ, because you get the basic training for free, so you start with 100 Nova for sure. You'll have to spend your 50 on that. Which means you can funnel out an extra 2 Mounties. Or you can go up for the 5, I suppose. And then just grab the 10 Nova Alpha Nova processor if you want to get the Trooper upgrade. Eating some of these nerfs. Early carbon here for Grenooli. I think that you maybe eat 1 or 2 of the nerfs. You can do sort of a bit of long distance fruit bushing. I think maybe it's a food processor and like 5 workers on the berries. House the rest of them. But if you want to go full AI, you can eat them all. I don't know if you've ever noticed that when you're playing against the AI, that they find the nerfs, they never put them in houses, they just murder them all around the command center. You can just see it in the fog of war. In the shroud. But yeah, this is the kind of approach that I would prefer for this kind of food start. Unfortunately, he's still not found his extra 4 nerfs here. It's really sad considering he's decided to sort of house them all. Let's see what we're doing with our scout. It's maybe like a thing that a lot of the rooks are just not aware of. Like when you start with like X amount of nerfs, there should be, you know, Y amount of nerfs on the bloody map. Like there should be 8. So you've got 2 to find. And it should really be your priority to just go around and find them first and then sort of scout your opponents. Because I mean you can have double this food income. You would need to go into these farms so quickly. Be nice to get these workers all around the carbon processor now that you've got it, because this is just not an acceptable distance. Not when carb processor technology is unlocked. Oh, just nerfs being murdered.
Awaiting auditory input.
This would be a really good mounty map. Because you're going to have to do all these farms. But you could like house a bunch of them, and then you can eat a few just to keep yourself afloat and get that little bit extra so you can afford the workers and the mounties at the same time. And then once you've got a handful of mounties out there, and you spent your carb on the troop center, the power core, the carb can go to just making farms afterwards. And then you build up all your core of farms while try to put your opponent behind. Do have a guide on sort of doing like early T1 mountie aggression on the channel. It's in the same playlist as all the other guides that we've done. It's a really good way to get momentum and control in a matchup. So you can really get his troop center and his power core here. And this is not like a very fast, like these are some of the like slowest food gathering rates. So you can see we're not really like at 400 or anything like that. So there's going to have to be lots of farms. So the troop center and the power core, it's just kind of premature. You're almost always better to just prioritize getting all your farms first and then dropping these things down. Because you're not really going to be able to afford making anything out of it in the first place. And I think if somebody was mounting, they'd probably hitting about now. So before you've gotten, you know, like enough farms and stuff. Maybe even a smidgen earlier. Really off to T2. Oh, what's happening with Trisector? I thought he was doing pretty well with farms and stuff. I did find one of those nerfs. Grenooli always seems to be finding his nerfs and hiding them. Really sad. I like the double carbons. It's great carbon eco. He just needs a few more farms. What's he gonna do with this 500 carbon? Because he could just afford like all his military infrastructure outright. This wouldn't be a bad spot for the power core. Kind of safe. You can just finish that up with another prefab. I'm gonna make it here. Not too bad. I'll support this carbon a bit. I like to see this wall finished up here, and then this is sort of safe-ish. Close this up here. And then focus on closing this, and then this is your entry point. And you can just have your troops sit here, and if things get bad you can garrison. And you can farm in all this safe space. So after T2, a few troopers out here for Grenooli. The Nova as well. Yeah, maybe just try to be safe, get himself up to his sort of farm count that he had before. And then head off to T3. Likely his plan. maybe speed this up a bit. This is a very slow T1, T2. Not much aggression. Where did the troopers go? I can barely see them through all the Nova because he's green. So the 4 troopers are going to be making their way here to Trisector's area where his farms are. This worker is probably going to get gunned down. Does have 4 troopers himself, but he's not upgraded them yet. Quickly researching, that's an unfortunate rally point. Fortunately, Grenooli not going for it there. Doesn't have the range yet. Hopefully Trisector maybe remembers the range this time. Didn't remember that last time there was a sort of troop v troop thing. I'm not seeing neither. Oh, there's the range for Grenooli. You could kite this. Just going to try it. Just winning there, Trisector. I think the issue's, like, I think there was like 2 volleys got one of the troopers to like 1 health, and then there was like overkill. So they all wasted a shot, really. That'd be why he won that trade. Some decent sort of walling here from Grenooli. 2 turrets already down. It's feeling like a sort of safe-ish area, which is nice for all the farms and stuff. There's probably some sort of mad gaps in this, you never know with these walls. In fact, maybe the fact that he's ran all the way around is a good sign. He's working actively to break this wall, this worker. He's trying his hardest. A few troops from Trisector. Putting some pressure on. Kind of just scouting, probably. Seeing what's up here. And a couple from Grenooli matching them and just killing them, no problem. But the tank buildings are down for Grenooli, and he might be on his way to T3. Yep, he is. Trisector doing quite a bit better with his food. Maybe just the nerfs sort of ticking away. It's really unfortunate he's missing 4 nerfs. I think he'd maybe be T3 by now, really. Or at least on his way. Gonna get a second building now. Gonna send a few more troops out. There shouldn't really be too much troops from Grenooli because he's cutting corners, but I think by the time that these get here, he can maybe funnel out a strike mech. He has completed this wall, I think. Can't really see because I don't have my small trees here. I imagine this is walled though. And the trooper is going to collapse here onto the Nova. Going to kill off that 1 trooper defending it and get a couple of worker kills. 3 worker kills. Not too bad. Not hit the tech button yet. I do worry for him. Just click it. Go to T3. Oh no. This should be banned from the rookie matchup. Oh no. So we've got the fortress here from Grenooli. Which means the Geonosian warriors will be getting built. The absolute devastators of rookie workers. Let's hope that Trisector, having scouted that fortress, is fully aware of Geonosian warriors and their capabilities and makes, you know, like 50 anti-air troopers to deal with them. These troopers are not long for this world. Always flying over them, going for the worker kills. I suppose the next one could just defend it. It's unfortunately going to lose more workers though. Where is he gone? I've lost him. There he is. Watch the rate that these workers die. So it's 2 shot. If the workers are sort of stationary, they like double shot lands really quickly. It almost looks like a 1 shot. So he does get to T3. He lost a couple of workers there. He's got a lot of anti-air. That's a reasonable response, I would say. Could upgrade these as well. You can use these to supplement like a future push as well. He's going to get an air base. The fighters will be really good to deal with these geos. But oh my god, a gang of them. Oh no. They could maybe win this trade. But these workers are just overextended. The anti-air is just not where it needs to be. It needs to sit in the middle of the base so that you can quickly get to the spots. And these are going to kill the workers so quickly. Oh dear. I mean, it looks like a Geo killed them. We didn't even need to watch what would happen there. Fighter's out. Needs to kite with it though, because they will kill a fighter quickly. Shoot! There we go. Oh no, more workers are gonna die.
Yes, sir.
In land of Confederacy, man who make Geo is king. This fighter gonna die as well. Oh, he does get one though. Oh, it's rough. It's gonna need to maybe like slam down 2 CCs here, but it looks like Grenooli is actually gonna make another fortress. It's quite a clever sort of gameplay from him. Geos to get that sort of advantage, and oh, he's cancelled it. He doesn't have any units here to actually keep these workers alive. Maybe a little bit ambitious. Should just grab this hill. Look at this king hill right here. Aesthetically, you're going to want to build a fortress on the top of there. Another fighter dying, and a few more of the workers here. This additional carbon getting brutalised, and it's feeling a bit rough here for Trisector. He's got the units going across the counter-attack, sort of harass this command centre that Grenooli's managed to get down. There he goes, cleans up the Geos. And you can keep them garrisoned here, which is great. There's not really anything out for Grenooli. He's going to have to get like a couple of mech destroyers out maybe. Oh, he built some strike mechs and he's funneled them around here. Bomber would be good in terms of defending this. Even anti-air mobiles. Trisector, try come prepared for these Geonosian warriors. And let's try cleaning this up slowly but surely. Oh, don't overextend. Ah! See, this is just, you don't want to be doing this. This is too easy of an army to just match for one mech destroyer, and if Grenooli was repairing this, we wouldn't lose it. It's going to die though. There'll be another one out, but there's a fortress here. I'm not really getting too much damage. These workers can go back to work as well. I think camping this base is really good, and maybe you should be doing that with fighters. Because the fighters could really be the thing that get him back into this game. Because you can't really defend them with Geos. He's spent a lot of ore so far. Might not be able to put turrets everywhere. But you could camp this base with fighters, bring some bombers and actually just bomb it into oblivion. Which I think would be a really good choice. I would force maybe some anti-air troopers being built. And it's just one troop centre. Or dropping down a heavy weapons factory and getting some automobiles to shift them from that position. I don't like the heavy weapons factory. I think you need the disc carbon to be a command centre because he's got to make so many workers to catch up. Like the fighters are a good unit for him to build because it's just food and over, but like all the carbon needs to be going to farms and new CCs. He's going to need to get up like a core of 3 CCs and just pump out a lot of workers just to catch up. Oh, and the damage he could be doing harassing his fighters as well, his extra ones. Let's hope these maybe go across. Don't think he needs to keep them here. Maybe be a bit more active on the map and fish for workers. Another CC as well, like he could be stopping these things happening. Buying himself a ton of time. Another mech destroyer here. There's 3 for Grenooli, so that's maybe going to be his next sort of move. This is just not something Trisector can afford. However, if Grenooli does push up, What Trisector could do is just build a bomber and just push the army away. I think you really should have taken full advantage of this air superiority. In just about 10 minutes, this command center could be dead. Watch this space. And this prefab shelter. Not really, have we got another CC yet? No. If you're not too sure about what you're doing in this game, build workers, make command centers. Let's focus on the economic aspects. Do the micro stuff later. Should carry you like 90% of the way through things. Like the bombers, just need to get them involved. No, there we go, he's got the heavy weapons. So with the AIM-mobiles now, the sort of window's just sort of shut. It's just clamoured shut here. Without doing enough economic damage with the advantage. And he'll wrestle off this position. He's going to get like 8 workers back now onto the Nova. And more importantly for him, he's going to have map presence. Trisector not pulled his air away and just lost all these things that he can't afford losing. These guys might immediately just go and build a fortress here. Trisector's sending a pummel across. Another like carbon investment he can't afford. More MDs. And we need command centers. And you know, if you just built command centers with all this carbon that flittered away, having a nursery here in this matchup, your opponent doesn't, and you've got the air, you could lean on like Mounties just to defend this push if it happens. You know, now the A-mobiles are there, you don't want the bombers, but you could just make Mounties. But Grenooli gonna take his time here, grab up the center, and then maybe just like make artillery or something like that. It's kind of the best Nova spender you get with the old Confed, other than getting like heavy assault mechs. I feel like Trisector could just have so many more options in his games, just having these command centers here. Having all those extra workers could do so much more. See Grenooli's eco prioritizing just like having a lot of farms, a lot of workers, great stuff. Just give you so much more flexibility, a lot more units, the option for different techs and stuff. Macro is king. Like if you're gonna play like this, be on one base, you need to just be like constantly attacking, trading, and you know, it's on you to get the value back. Killing workers or denying like areas of the eco. If you are apathetic and passive with it, you just set yourself behind even further. Nothing happening. Really getting all this Nova. Don't forget there's holocrons on the map on this map as well. Just nobody really cares about. You can just get all the Nova. And the only civs that probably bother would be the ones that get extra Nova from it, Republic and Naboo. Oh man, you got extra carbons. Where's the CCs? One base Larry right here. See, extra double research. Oh no, okay, I thought it was 2 research then, isn't it? Extra heavy weapons factories and stuff. So the artillery here, and when you've got all this Nova, you can just make artillery for days. Absolute days, and they're so good against mech destroyers and stuff, just because they don't take too much damage from them. But this army completely countered by like mounties, which is why I would think you get a couple of command centers, you get a lot of farms down and stuff, and then you can just go Nova food because your carbs are wrapped up in like the economics side of things. But you can defend and you can maybe wipe these armies by surprise. And once your economy's set up, you can switch back into like making artillery and stuff like that. A lot of mech destroyers here. It doesn't have the range. Kind of needs to like get its units together as well and just be a bit more present with the army. Be aware of it. Because if Grenooli attacks him, it's like this. It's gonna catch him by surprise a bit. And both players maybe going to want some shields for the upcoming combat that's going to ensue from this. We need some carbon processors as well. Look at the distance we're running. Kind of the same for both players. Right, they are pushing up here. Trisector doesn't really want to be attacking into this because it's got the big hill and the elevation advantage. But Grenooli is just going to be able to phase him out of everything. You could build another fortress here. Secure that ore. You get your investment back if you can mine this ore, right? And then some. 700. So it's like 1700 ore. It's almost 3 fortresses. Heavy artillery now, so Grenooli being T4, just going to wait for his upgrades, heavy mech destroyers, and then take the fight. Why risk it? You can close out the series here. Just make sure he's guaranteed to win. I do like the Mounties coming in, but I would have really liked to see them earlier. Trisector now, you're up to 1700 carb, buddy. Oh, there's an extra CC now. It's just a bit late. A bit late. Very late. Because if I do a wee roll call here in workers, 53 to 174. So really just taking all this time to really pump out a lot of workers. And they're going to fight now. The Mounty's going to run in. But I do worry for them being bunched up. Oh my. The mech destroyer's just been brutalised by the artillery. It does have 2 fortresses, you could just throw out some geos to defend this, I think. Relying on the fortress fire. There's not a lot of Mounties, so with so many units it takes a long time for them to really kill a lot of stuff. And that was almost like water crashing against rocks there. Just not a very effective attack. Assault mechs now as well. Yeah, you can just build what you want really with all this Nova in the centre. And you can go off and buy a war and make shields and extra fortresses and stuff. And you can buy what you want. Just a huge privilege and why people should always be contesting the centre. Big sort of interesting part of this map. The forces here coming forward. Bomber's going to try and scare it off a bit, but not enough DPS outcome, or DPS output rather. Anti-air mobiles coming up to support the army. It's looking like a great, really bulky Confederacy army here. Lots of hit points. And then with the heavy assault mechs coming in as well, going to do huge damage to the buildings and all the units with their bonus damage. The Nerf's knocked out the nursery here. The Mounties once again are just sort of getting gunned down. just not enough of them. And then a huge amount of strike mechs come to support as well, which will just one tap all those mounties. And that's really looking like the end of this series here. We're really going to be taking it 3-0. Just a bit more action here in this game. But I think if Trisector works on these few things, he can have some much better games and just have a lot more options for himself, just having a better eco. I can really see what he's capable with his strategic decisions off of that. But well played, GG to both players there. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel please, like the content, and if you want to get involved with these games in the future or just join the GBG Discord, you'll find the link down below in the description. If you want to donate to the channel, you'll find the PayPal link down below. You can buy me a coffee if you appreciate the content or you like some of the guides I've been outputting lately. And see you guys in the next video. Take care, bye bye.